Hello friends, Intuitive Rene here, bringing you your week ahead reading, and we're looking at the week of the 26th of June through to the 2nd of July 2022. End of June and starting into the month of July. It's exciting times. All right, friends, for those of you who are here for the first time and not quite sure what this reading is all about, let me give you a quick rundown. We cover quite a lot of information in this particular reading. The cards that you see on the table here are the ones that I'm going to use to give us the theme for the week ahead. So it's the theme for the collective energy. And as soon as we've done that, we're going to move into an animal energy for the week ahead. So animal characteristics, animal properties, animal ideas and thoughts and concepts and associations that we can utilize during the week ahead. And then we do some crystal energy for the week as well, where we choose a single crystal that we can all use and work with for the week ahead. And then once we've done theme, animal and crystal, we move into the main event, if I can call it that, and that is the elemental readings, where I offer you a individual message for each sign of the zodiac, starting with Aries and going all the way through to Pisces. But instead of doing 12 individual readings, because we're only looking at a 7-day period, I have grouped them by the elements. So I do 4 individual readings that cover the 12 signs of the zodiac. So Aries, Leo and Sagittarius fall under the element of fire. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn fall under the element of earth. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius fall under the element of air, and Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces fall under the element of water. So I do a individual reading for fire signs, earth signs, air signs, and water signs. And then once those are done, once our elemental readings are done, we move into what I call the Q&A with Spirit, where I have some question cards. We shuffle and we draw a question card, and then we use another tarot deck to get the answers to that. And it's really just thought-provoking, something for you to ponder, something for you to think about, and hopefully something that will help you adjust yourself accordingly so that you can be the best version of yourself that you need to be. So I understand that there's obviously a lot of content in this particular reading, and not everything's going to be your cup of tea. You might not be into crystals, and that's completely okay. So to make it easier for you to jump around and to navigate accordingly, I use chapters. So if you look sort of just around over here, it should say intro. And if you click on intro, it'll open up all the different chapters that are available. And you can click on them and jump around the reading to your heart's content. You're welcome, obviously, to watch it from beginning to end, and that would be amazing. But you're welcome to jump around. And yeah, come back during the week as well. If you want to come back and revisit your elemental readings or revisit the animal reading, or aspect or portion of the video, you are more than welcome to do that. I will tell you about the decks that I'm using as I go through, because they are scattered all around me. My desk always looks like a mess when I do the week ahead readings. And friends, this is our last one for the month of June. So next weekend, when we do our week ahead reading, we're going to be starting with the month of July. So I do the week ahead readings from Sunday through to Saturday, because I like to have Sunday to sort of reflect and to plan and to strategize and to just think about the week ahead. So next week when I do the reading, I want to change the format a little bit. So those of you who are my regulars and who enjoy the video, what parts of it do you enjoy more of, and what parts of it do you feel we should maybe not include, and do you have any ideas on what you would like to see? Because I've had this particular format for quite some time now, and I'm feeling like it's time to shake things up a little bit, as I do from time to time. So if you've got any ideas, if there's certain parts of the video that you would absolutely hate to see go, do comment below and let me know. And like I said, if you've got any other ideas that you would like to see me include in this particular video, again, comment and let me know. And if you don't want to comment publicly, reach out to me, let me know what it is, because I definitely will be changing things up next week. But for this week, we are sticking to the same format and the same system. So Let's get straight into it. Let's look at our theme for the week ahead. And as a reminder, it's the week of the 26th of June through to the 2nd of July. These two cards that I have here are from the Word of the Year Oracle. They are a single deck, but printed into two parts. We draw a single card from the orange, a single card from the green, and together they will give us a key phrase or a keyword which will be our theme for the week ahead. So let's do that. Let's shuffle, yeah, they're just printed on normal cardboard, so they are a little bit flimsy, so I have to be careful. We're looking for a single card from the orange portion, which will be the first half or the first part of our theme for the week ahead. Okay, I'm happy with that shuffle. Let's see which card wants to come through. Nope. Okay, I'm going to take one in the middle there, so I'm going to go for that one. Let's put the orange away. Let's do the green. Again, single card from here, which will complete the theme for the week ahead. Okay. And there we have them. Let's have a look and see what is our theme for the week ahead. We have got conscious fellowship. Oh, that is very interesting. Conscious fellowship. So immediately we all know the meaning of conscious. You don't need me to give you an English lesson on what the word conscious means and stands for, but I am going to tell you that conscious means mindful. All right, it being aware of, being mindful of, and fellowship is our people, is the people that we engage with and interact with and spend time with. Fellowship are the people that you are drawn to, the people that you, whether they be your family, whether they be your friends, whether they be work-related colleagues, but it's the people that you connect with, it's the people that you appreciate and enjoy, and it's the people that you tend to spend a lot of time with. So it's about being mindful of them. It's about being mindful of those experiences. It's about being mindful of those connections. Because sometimes, especially, fellowship of people we can be ourselves with. It's a people we can sort of let our inhibitions go, where we can sort of let ourselves go and just be who we are. So sometimes we tend to take our fellowship for granted. Sometimes we tend to be how can I say, sometimes we tend to just be more brash, okay, with our fellowship and not always paying attention or being mindful of who they are, their own feelings, their own needs, wants and desires, and we can, as I said a couple of times now, take for granted. So conscious fellowship is to me quite an interesting one as we go into the second half of the year. As we start July, the first week of the end of June and the first couple of days in July, we need to be very mindful of the people that we engage with and interact with. We need to be mindful of, is it a two-way street? Are we giving as much as we are taking? Are we being thoughtful, kind, considerate? Are we being conscious of our engagements, interactions, and time spent with those people who are important and significant in our life? Oh, I like it. Okay, so as you can see with this particular deck, this is an oracle deck which is called the Native Spirit Oracle. So its name is on the back of the card, so it doesn't need any introduction from me. Let's give it a shuffle. So this oracle deck is going to contribute towards our conscious fellowship, in giving us a better understanding of what the theme means and how best to tackle it and to handle it. So we're looking for just a single card from the Nature Spirit Oracle that's going to contribute towards our conscious fellowship. Right, let's have last shuffle and we will draw a card from the deck. So there we have it, Nature Spirit selected. I've got space to put this one down. Hold a second. Right. Let's have a look. Native Spirit, what is the card for us for the week ahead? Storyteller, of course, yes. I mean, here we have this beautiful scenery, beautiful, beautiful. We've got this fire that's sitting, and I can just imagine all of us sitting around the fire telling stories, sharing stories, not telling, sharing. Okay, because we're being conscious in our fellowship. And when we share stories, we're sharing our experiences, our situations, our stories, to almost with morals, with understanding, with beliefs, with learning, with lessons, with all of those things with our fellows, with our fellowship. And it is for us here in the Southern Hemisphere, it is the winter period. It is cold, and it's a little, the days are short, the nights are long. So we need these open fires, and we need gatherings, we need fellowship, and we need stories. I love that. I think that for the theme for the week ahead, with conscious fellowship, it just makes sense, doesn't it? So I am going to encourage each one of you, even though we don't always necessarily have the opportunity to sit around an open fire, but I am going to encourage you to share your stories, to speak, to connect with your fellow man. Be conscious in that, and tell the stories that are positive, uplifting, motivating, enthusiastic, and not the stories of doom and gloom. Let's not focus on all the problems and all the challenges and all the mistakes and the bad things that have happened. Let's focus on the positive. Let's focus on happy stories, funny stories, heartwarming stories. Because that is about being conscious with your fellowship. That is about being enthusiastic, connected, and motivating with the people that matter in your life. I really do think that's an amazing theme for the week ahead. Awesome. All right. So friends, next on our list, we move into our animal energy for the week. And this week I am using Animal Kingdom Oracle cards by Leanne Peters. So let's give it a shuffle. And as I say each week, when I do the animal energy, it's not necessarily animal totem or anything, animal spirit guide or anything like that. What it is, I believe the animal kingdom has got so much to teach us. I believe that the animal kingdom handles life, circumstances and situations sometimes a lot better than we do as human beings. And I think we forget how amazing the animal kingdom is. We forget how strong the animal kingdom is. And, even from a little ladybird, a little ladybug, we can learn so much. And I find for myself personally, which is why I bring it in, that when facing a challenge, a problem, a situation, if you think about how would the animal handle it, what would the animal do, what is the animal's strength, what is the animal's way of navigating circumstances and things like that. And if we can adopt that, we learn so much, we become better people. Okay, so this is really an animal energy that we can connect with for the week ahead, that we can learn from, that we can draw on for the week ahead. So let's have a look and see, what animal do we have. We have got the beautiful strong raven bird, and its little message is to face your shadow with honesty. So the raven bird is telling you to be honest with yourself, to speak up, to listen, to be heard, to be visible, but most importantly, to face your fears, to face your insecurities, to face the thing that frightens you most. And I think when I look at this and I look at conscious fellowship, it almost, to me, it's like we have fears around our sense of belonging, our sense of identity, our sense of community. We sometimes feel like nobody wants us, nobody likes us. We sometimes feel like, oh, it's not worth it, nobody cares about us. So we tend to withdraw, we tend to pull ourselves away. And I think the raven is saying to us, we need to be bold, we need to be brave, we need to be loud, we need to be seen, we need to be in everybody's faces, but we need to face our own insecurities, our own doubts, our own shadows with honesty. And again, storytelling is where that comes from, because when you start telling stories, you start suddenly putting everything into perspective, and suddenly everything becomes clearer, more understanding, but also not only from you but from your fellowship. If you're keeping all your shadows to yourself, all your fears and insecurities and worries and doubts and anxieties, if you keep them to yourself, nobody's ever going to know. And how can your fellowship be there for you? So if you're wondering why nobody cares, if you're wondering why nobody supports you, if you're wondering why nobody's got your back, maybe it's because you're keeping it to yourself. You're not sharing your shadows with the people around you. So tell the stories. I want to say be annoying, okay? Because to me, like the raven bird, it doesn't stop. It doesn't give up. It keeps chirping. It keeps chirping until it gets what it wants. And this is like, it's not about being annoying. It's not about being on repeat. It's not about being, over the top with what it is that we need to do and say. But for you personally, don't stop speaking until you have found your truth, found your understanding. Tell the story, speak around, speak to people, speak to your fellowship, speak to the people that matter in your life, express yourself, because there are solutions. There are absolutely solutions available to you, but it requires you to face your shadow with honesty. All right. We are now going to look at, and we've got good morning glare on my cards. This time of the morning, I have the sun right in my face. So we have our crystal cards. Let's have a look and see what crystal energy is working with us and that we can work with for the week ahead. I'm going to try and shuffle over here where there's not so much glare so that I don't hurt you. All right, single crystal card for the week ahead. Crystal energy that we can work with. Crystal energy that we can draw on, and that can help us navigate our conscious fellowship for the week ahead. All right, happy with the shuffle. I'm going to take that card over there. All right, let's have a look and see which crystal we have for the week ahead. Oh, beautiful, beautiful emerald. So emerald is a stone that can eliminate negativity from its surroundings. It promotes harmony, truthfulness, and trust. Isn't this all fitting in so beautifully? It can improve your memory and patience, as well as encouraging honesty, loyalty, focus, and sensitivity. Friends, what do I say all the time? I can't make this stuff up. I love this because this is just tying in with everything that we've covered, everything that we've already said. So you know what? This is when you know to like really pay attention to the message. This is when you know that this is not just reading cards for entertainment. This is when you know that there's a higher power working through me to you, bringing conscious fellowship, bringing understanding, bringing healing, bringing whatever it is that you need. So emerald is the element of water, the chakra of the heart, and the affirmation that we can all say every day, all day for the next week is, I feel patience and harmony. Patience and harmony. Patience and harmony. Patience and harmony. I love that. So even if you don't have a piece of emerald in your life, because let's be honest, not all of us are going to have a piece of emerald, but you can use just the thought, just the word. It carries the same vibration. The word emerald, the thought of the crystal, the visualization of the crystal carries just as much of the energy as the actual crystal itself. So if you don't have a piece to hold and to carry around with you, just print yourself out a picture, screenshot that one, just keep thinking about it, talking about it, using the memory, using the thought, using the energy of the crystal. And obviously, if you're lucky enough to have a piece of emerald, please do carry it with you, or just in the mornings, hold it in your hand as you set your morning intentions, as you set yourself up for the day ahead, but work with the energy of the emerald. Right, just adjusted the coloring a bit so that it's not too washed out, because as I said, you can see the sun is coming through my window brightly at the moment, which is great. I love my winter sun. So friends, next on our agenda, we are going to do our elemental readings. And to do elemental readings this week, I have chosen the Tarot de Luz. So Tarot de Luz translates into Tarot of Light. And it's a beautiful, beautiful deck. It's a little bit strange, a little bit quirky, just like me, really. So Tarot de Luz is going to do us our elemental readings for this week. And as I shuffle the deck, just to begin, just to explain and elaborate how the elemental readings work, I choose just a couple of cards. I do 4 separate readings. So I'm going to do a reading for the element of fire, the element of earth, element of air, and element of water. So when you know what your zodiac sign is, what your sun sign is, the sign that you were born under, I will tell you what element that falls into. And this is its official element. It's not a made-up thing. This is its official element, okay? And then you watch that particular video or that particular reading, and I use the same deck of cards for all 4 of the readings. I use the same format for all 4 of the readings, but obviously the cards will then give a very different picture, a very different story. And this is just really the energy of what you are going to be dealing with, working with for the week ahead, to give you a bit of insight into what you can expect, what you can look forward to, or possibly even what you need to watch out for the week ahead. Okay, so it is general, and I am grouping by elements. So just to remind you, the element of fire covers the zodiac signs of Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The element of earth covers Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The element of air covers Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And our final element of water is our Cancerians, our Scorpios, and our Pisces. All right. So I will have the chapters down for each of the elements, so you can jump straight through to the element that is appropriate to you. The cards are shuffled. I am going to do a little shuffle for each of the elements as I draw out the cards. And remember, it is just for 7 days. It is just a short period. All right. Fire signs, let's get into your reading. So fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. What does the week ahead have in store for you? And this is the week of the 26th of June through to the 2nd of July. All right. Happy with that shuffle. Going to cut the deck over there. Card number 1, fire signs. We have got the 8 of Swords. Card number 2, we have the Knight of Wands. Oopsie, I'm skew. Sorry. I'm so busy looking at the cards, I'm not looking at the camera. And our third card is the 6 of Cups. All right, so quite an interesting spread, fire signs. The first card I want to talk about, obviously, is the 8 of Swords. So the 8 of Swords is the card that says your mind is your worst enemy at the moment, because you tend to be overcomplicating things in your mind. You tend to be taking things to the extremes in your mind, which is not necessarily correct. We tend to overthink things, and we tend to overanalyze, and we tend to be a little bit, I'm going to say, pessimistic around circumstances. So we create situations in our mind that are so much worse than what the reality is. The Knight of Wands is reminding you to not get caught in that, to not get stuck in that, to recognize, hold a second, am I imagining, perceiving, or thinking things to be a lot worse than they actually are? If that is the case, I need to just keep forging forward. I need to keep moving forward. I must not stop. I need to be brave. I need to be strong. I need to be confident. And I need to just keep moving forward in all that I do. I need to understand that there is a lesson on repeat here, okay? And fire signs, you know, it's interesting that the way that it comes through to me, because the 6 of Cups is about, you know, the past. It's about thinking about the way things used to be, or how things have been, or the, you know, things that have happened before, which is why I'm saying to you that this is a lesson on repeat. When something good is about to happen to you, we tend to, I say we because I fall under fire signs as well. We tend to expect the worst because we are so used to things going wrong. We're so used to life being hard, life being difficult, life being a challenge. So we almost anticipate that, instead of just saying, you know what, let me just go, let me just do, let me just experience, let me just have this moment and judge it as it unfolds. Because if you go into it expecting it to be bad, the universe says, well, you expected it, I'll give it to you. Because the universe gives us everything that we want, everything that we desire, everything that we think about. So if your thoughts are about problems and challenges and difficulties and hardships, the universe is going to provide that for you. Whereas if you say, no, hold a second, let me not judge the circumstance until I've actually experienced it, until I've actually stepped into it and had that moment. You know, let me not judge until I've had that experience. Then maybe we can break the pattern. Maybe we can break the way that things are unfolding from the past all the time. Maybe that will help us to change the patterns of our situation, of our circumstance, and therefore of our future experiences. So fire signs, this week, don't be too quick to judge. Wait to see how things unfold, but get engaged, get involved, participate in it, and hopefully we can change the patterns from the past that have been possibly holding you back. Awesome, fire signs. Love and blessings for the week ahead. Interesting to see how that's going to play out for each one of you for the week ahead. Right, let me put the cards in the right place. Earth signs being Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you've got the sun shining on the cards today. Let's have a look and see what is in store for you for the week ahead. For all Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Earth energy for the week ahead, week of the 26th to the 26th of June to the 2nd of July 2022. Cutting the deck over there. Card number 1, Earth signs, we have got the World. I love it. Card number 2, we have the Star. I really am liking where this is going, Earth signs. And we have, oh, the Hierophant. So Earth signs, this is quite interesting. You've got 3 what we call, or what we refer to as major arcana cards. So these are 3 hugely significant cards. So immediately, even before looking at the individual cards, immediately we can assume and surmise that this week is not going to be just an average ordinary week. So Earth signs, they're going to be big events, these big opportunity, these big situations happening around you this week that you can take advantage of. I am going to say to you though, starting off with the World card, Earth signs, this is Spirit saying, you know, recognizing that you've come full circle, recognizing that you have achieved and accomplished a lot, okay? And there's a lot of projects, a lot of situations and circumstances, feelings, emotions, whatever it might be, that we're sort of tying up, that we're resolving, that we're finding a resolution, that we are completing, achieving and accomplishing this week. But at the same time, we're also then starting the next. You know, if you imagine, as soon as you finish one cycle, we immediately begin preparation and, you know, doing everything we can for the next one. So it's about the completion of the one, but the immediate start of the next. So this week is going to have a lot of endings and a lot of beginnings. And we're not just talking about casual small stuff. This is fairly significant. All right. The Star card is one of my favorite. I know I say that about all the cards, but the Star card is the card of hope. It's the card of renewal. It's the card of compassion and understanding. It's the card that reminds us to hold on to hope, to hold on to those positive feelings that everything's going to be okay, because it is. And the Hierophant, Earth signs, is just reminding you that life is a lesson. Everything is learning. Everything is about an experience, a lesson, a comprehension, and so forth. And it's only us humans that tend to overcomplicate, okay? It's only us humans in our thoughts, in our experiences, and in the way that we perceive and imagine that we tend to overcomplicate. Spirit is saying to you, you know, see everything as learning, see everything as a lesson, and therefore you can take it at face value without overthinking it and overcomplicating it. So the Hierophant is saying everything is a learning, everything is a lesson, every experience teaches you, gives you, and guides you towards something that you wouldn't have had beforehand. But understand that this week we will be finishing off some stuff. We will be closing some chapters in order to step into the next lesson, into the next chapter, into the next experience. And even if you've been through an incredibly difficult time recently, even if it's been a hardship and a challenge, the Star card says to you it's going to be okay. All right, hold on to hope, believe that it's going to be okay, believe that everything's going to work out, believe that things will be exactly as they need to be, and that you will be okay, as long as you are learning, as long as you are experiencing, as long as you are having the comprehension and the understanding around letting go, completing, moving on from, holding on to hope, and knowing that everything's going to be okay. Beautiful, beautiful week ahead for you, for all our earth elemental energies for the week ahead. I do hope it's a good one. Sending you lots of love. Right, so earth signs, your card is, or reading is done. I think it'll work like that. Air signs, let's have a look for you. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, the week of the 26th of June to the 2nd of July 2022. And Rene's throwing cards on the table. Let's have a look for our air signs. Air signs energy for the week ahead, please. Air signs energy for the week ahead, please. Cutting the deck there. Okay, air signs, card number 1 that we have for you is the 6 of Swords. Card number 2, we have the 4 of Cups. And card number 3 that we have is the 9 of Cups. Okay, so let's have a look and see. The first thing that we have to acknowledge is we start with the Swords and then we move into Cups. I'm trying to avoid the sunlight that's coming in here. This time of the morning, my desk is alight with sun. It's gorgeous. All right, but it doesn't do much for the videos because everything looks very pale when actually these cards are so vibrant. All right. So air signs. The Six of Swords is, to put it mildly, to put it bluntly, the Six of Swords is the card of saying, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. Okay. I want to move on. I want to go somewhere else. Anywhere is better than here. So the Six of Swords is acknowledging challenge. It's acknowledging conflict. It's acknowledging that you're struggling with something, that you're battling with something, that something in your life is causing you a little bit of unhappiness, a little bit of pain, a little bit of discomfort. And you're so tired of trying to fix it. You're so tired of trying to make it better. You're so tired of trying to overcome it that sometimes you feel like, I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just going to leave it and I'm just going to move away. All right. So that's the message of the Six of Swords. And you know what? I totally get that. I totally get it, that sometimes we just are so tired of fixing and doing and resolving that sometimes we feel it's just going to be easier if we just start again. All right, let's just push that reset button and let's just start again. But I don't want to do it in the same place. I want to do it in a new location. Then we've got the Two Cups after that. So the Two Cups is the cards of, cups is the suit of emotion. It's a suit of feelings. So we understand that this is almost a non-emotional decision that is made, all right? But it immediately brings about emotion. And this is what we need to be aware of. This is what we need to be mindful of. The Four of Cups, and I wasn't going to pick cards up, but I'm going to pick cards up just because we can't see too clearly. Here we have these two absolutely gorgeous swans who have completely interconnected, intertwined themselves. They have joined, they have connected, they have partnered, but they're also not looking at each other. So as much as they are engaging and as much as they are participating and being together, they're actually just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, so it's the card of boredom, it's the card of disinterest, it's the card of, I'm here because I feel obligated, I'm here because I feel like I have to, I'm doing it because it's expected of me, but actually, you know what, it doesn't excite me as much as it used to. I want to say the novelty has worn off, okay? The novelty has worn off a little bit. So we are all, and air signs, we have to be honest with all the hardships, the challenges, the difficulties that we've experienced. Of course we get a little bit bored, of course we get a little bit disinterested, and especially when it's been one thing after another after another after another. So you're still rocking up, you're still participating, but you're not engaging. Okay, you're participating, but you're not engaging. And we understand that because of everything that's been going on in the past. Then Spirit are talking about the next card, air signs, and Nine of Cups. So Nine of Cups is the card of your wishes coming true. It's the card of having everything that your heart desires. It's the card of abundance. It's the card of opulence. It's the card of extra. Okay. The Nine of Cups is the card that says to you that sometimes when we have everything our heart desires, the novelty does wear off. If we don't keep the magic alive, if we don't keep the passion, if we don't keep the passion alive, if we don't keep feeding it, if we don't keep creating something beautiful out of it, we are going to get bored. And when we get bored, disinterest sets in. So we have to keep reminding ourselves and not just practicing gratitude, because I can hear a lot of you people saying, oh, but I practice gratitude every day, but it still doesn't excite me. And I get that. I totally get that. So the Nine of Cups is about doing things to reignite, doing something to reignite the passion, to reignite the feelings, the fun, the excitement, and all of those kind of energies. Don't just accept things. Don't just let things get stale, because that's what's happened. So maybe this feeling here that we were talking about with the Six of Swords, maybe this is Spirit saying, let's shake things up a little bit so that we don't feel like everything's great, but it's not, but it is, but it isn't, but I should be happy, I should be fine, I should be settled, but I'm not, so maybe we do need to shake things up a little bit. All right, so air signs, you'll know what this relates to in your life. You will know in what area, whether this is romance, work, finance, health, friendships, or whatever it may be, diet even, okay? You will know what this is relating to in your life. Do what you need to do. Shake things up a little bit so that we don't become bored and disinterested. Lots of love, air signs, for the week ahead. Okay. Air signs card is going to live over Water signs, water signs. Let's have a look what's in store for your week ahead. Water signs being Cancerians, Scorpios, and Pisces for the week ahead. Let's have a look. This is the week of the 26th of June through to the 2nd of July. Week ahead for water signs being Cancerians, Scorpios, and Pisces energy. Cutting the deck there. Card number 1, water signs, we have the 10 of Wands. Card number 2, we have the King of Wands. And card number 3, which you can't see because of the sun, I'll move it in a second. Card number 3 is the 7 of Cups. Right, I'm going to put the tarot deck away because we are finished with it now. So water signs, when I look at these 3 cards, we've got Wands, Wands, and Cups. So it tells us that this is going to be a busy week. It tells us that this is a week of action, of doing, of activity, all right, which could result in some choices, decisions, and actions. But let's go back here. 10 of Wands is an interesting one. We've got these clouds brewing, okay? And we know that when clouds brewing, we're either going to have a little bit of lightning, a little bit of thunder, a little bit of something, a little bit of rain even, all right? And we know with the 10 of Wands that sometimes we're just so tired. Sometimes it's all just been a little bit too much, and sometimes we're just feeling like, you know what, I can see the storm coming, but I don't actually have the energy to do anything about it. I don't have the energy to get out of the way. I don't have the energy to go and get an umbrella or to put a raincoat on. I'm actually just going to stand here and I'm just going to allow what will be to be. I'm just going to get wet because actually I'm just so exhausted. It's been such a long, hard, difficult road, and I just don't feel like I have the energy to deal with it anymore. So that could be how you're feeling. That could be, and maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe the way that it's coming across is a little bit worse than what it actually is. But there's this feeling of exhaustion, this feeling of it's just all been a little bit too much. And, you know, one more challenge, being the rain clouds, being the storm that's brewing, you're just feeling like, you know what, if it's going to rain, it's going to rain. So be it. I can't deal with it anymore. So if it's going to rain, it's going to rain. And I'm just going to stand here and I need to just finish. All right. What we don't understand is how close we are to achieving happiness, success, completing everything that we need to. The King of Wands is what reminds us of that. The King of Wands is saying, you know what, nobody gets to the top without some struggle. Nobody achieves success, happiness, and joy without struggle. Nobody gets the wisdom, the understanding of life, of everything without the hardship, without actually doing the work. You know, how many people in their careers have started at the bottom and, you know, had different positions and improved themselves until eventually they become the CEO. Nobody just starts at that level. Everybody starts there and builds themselves up. So I am going to say to you, for all my water signs this week, Cancerian, Scorpios, and Pisces, this is a week of recognizing the effort that you've put in, the work that you've done in trying to achieve something, in trying to attain something, in trying to be something. And during this week, you are going to have some choices, some choices, decisions to make around how are we going to get there? Are we staying here, or are we going there, or where are we in between? But there's definitely some choice, some options and decisions for you this week that you're going to have to pay attention to in order to move ahead, in order to achieve and accomplish the goals that you've set out for yourself. So this week's focus is on the decisions, recognizing where you are, recognizing where you want to be, and recognizing the decisions that you have to make in getting there. And this is the tricky part, because there are so many different routes that you can go. You know, each one of these cups around here is an option. And when you've got an option of left or right, let me do that again. When you've got an option of right or left, you saw what I did there, right? When you've got only 2 options of this way or that way, it's easy because you've got a 50% chance of getting it right. But when it's so many, your chance of success reduces because there are so many choices and options. And we generally, as human beings, find that quite overwhelming. We find that quite scary, quite daunting, because what happens if we pick the wrong one? And we often get ourselves into that analysis paralysis mode where we're now overthinking and over-strategizing and you know, pondering instead of actually just getting on and making the choices and the decisions that we need to. So, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, it is a week for choice, for decision, for action to help you leave where you are and get to where you're wanting to get to. It's love and blessings for the week ahead for each one of you. All right. Next on our agenda is our Q&A with Spirit. So here I have my cue. Sorry, the sun is glowing brightly again. I adjusted the lighting, but maybe I shouldn't have, but let's just see how we do. All right, so here are my cues. So this is a deck of questions and thought-provoking, interesting questions that I have, and we're going to give it a shuffle, and we're asking Spirit, what is something that we should all be pondering this week? What is something that we should all be mindful of? What is something that maybe we're already thinking, we're already pondering, something that we're already been, coming into our minds? Or what is just an interesting topic that Spirit want to help us and guide us with and answer for us this week? So let's have a look from our question cards. What is a question that Spirit feels is relevant and appropriate? So apparently it's this one. I'm going to have to adjust the lighting again. Hold 1 second. I think that's a bit better. All right, so the question for this week is, how can we learn to step further into our calling? So whatever our calling is, because let's be honest, each one of us are going to have a different calling. We're not all, working with or going through the same thing. So how can we learn to step further into our calling? And this could be a spiritual calling, this could be a career calling, this could be a relationship calling, it could be anything. Okay, and each one of you are going to have a different thought going through your mind now as to what this relates to. But the way that I understand the question is, how can we learn to step further into identifying the calling? Is one thing, identifying your purpose, your calling, the thing that matters most to you right now, the thing that requires your attention and energy right now. Identifying that on its own is one thing, but how can we learn to step further? So how can we learn to have the confidence to embrace it, to step into it, to work through it? Okay, so that's how I interpret and understand the question. And the deck that I want to answer with this week is the Wandering, what's it called? The Wandering Star. The Wandering Star Tarot. It's a new deck that I got in this week, and I am loving it. I'm loving the colors, I'm loving the artwork, I'm loving the everything about it. I've used it quite extensively this week, so I do think we have a good relationship, a good connection, and I think it's going to help us very nicely answer the question of how can we learn to step further into our calling. And I am going to say to you, as I read that now, the calling that I'm picking up on is not our overall life purpose. Yes, it very well could be, but I feel like right here, right now, every single one of you have got a thing that Spirit require you to do, a calling that is necessary and applicable for right here, right now, at this stage in your life. And that is the calling that we are referencing. That is the calling that we are referring to. So how can we learn to step further into our current calling that we are all going through and experiencing right now? Okay, just give the cards a little bit more of a shuffle as we ask, how can we learn to step further into our calling? How can we learn to step further into our calling? Deck is cut. Card number 1, 9 of Swords. Card number 2, 7 of Cups. And card number 3, the 10 of Swords. Okay, I'm going to keep this deck there because I feel like I may want an additional card. I'm going to move that one over there so that I can bring these over to hopefully get out of the sunlight. Right, so friends, let's have a look. How can we learn to step further into our calling? 9 of Swords is, in the tarot community, we call it the nightmare card. And it's the card of acknowledging your fears, facing your fears, dealing with your fears, and recognizing that, during the day we put on a brave face. During the day we're smiley, we're happy, we pretend like everything's fine. This is the card that when people say to you, how are you? We go, no, I'm fine. But actually we're not, because in the middle of the night when nobody else is around, when we're sitting alone in our bed, that's when we allow our insecurities, our fears, and our anxieties to come through. But we hide it from the rest of the world. So first of all, this is Spirit saying, stop doing that. Okay, stop hiding your true feelings, stop hiding your stress and your anxiety. Remember, our week is conscious fellowship. All right, remember we said we are going to face our shadow with honesty. We are going to tell our story. We're going to express ourselves to everybody around us. We're not going to internalize. We're not going to internalize, because when we internalize our problems, our stresses, our fears, and our anxieties, we end up almost resisting or holding ourselves back from what it is that we should be embracing and working towards. Then we have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is the card of choice. It's the card of options. It's the card of saying, you know what, you have choice. It's not like fate where you don't have choice, where you just have to accept what is given to you or what comes your way, and you've got to just deal with it as it goes. This is Spirit saying, understanding that your calling might not be your choice. Your calling is something that is bestowed on you or given to you or put in front of you, okay? Something that you need to work on, accept, and work towards. That is fate, all right? The calling is fate, but how can you learn to step further into your calling? You recognize that you do have choice. As a human being, you have been given free will. You have been given freedom of choice. So you've got to use that. All right, you've got to recognize that there are certain things that you have no control over, and there are certain things that you absolutely do have control over. And it's how you respond to that that is up to you. But you do have choice. Your calling may be something completely out of your hands, maybe something that you have no control over, but how you get there, how you respond, how you achieve, how you accomplish, how you step into it is your choice. You have many options. Don't feel like there's only one perfect option. Don't feel like there's only one thing that you can do. And sometimes, because we have this overwhelm of choice, we feel insecure, we feel worried, we feel anxious. So we often then, this creates a kind of snowball effect that means we don't do anything. We then become almost stuck in limbo, and we're not actually doing anything that we need to. Now, it's interesting that we had the Nine of Swords and then we have the Ten of Swords. And I'm sure a lot of you were looking at this picture going, eek, what's going on? Because here we have a skull, and the skull has got all of these swords pierced through it. And what we have to notice is that the third eye is visible, showing. And I actually want to show you that these two eyes are the same. This one tends to have a bit more makeup on, a bit more eyelashes, but they're the same eye. The Ten of Swords is basically saying to you, you know, everything has to come to an end in life. It's the only thing that's guaranteed in life is endings. The only thing that's guaranteed in life is that everything is temporary. Life is temporary, okay? There is so much more that is taking place that we don't see, that we cannot perceive, that we cannot understanding. And we've chosen to have this earth experience. We've chosen this life for ourselves, for the lessons, the learning, and the calling. So as much as I said it doesn't have to be a big life purpose thing, but maybe that's exactly what it is. Maybe we all need to just reevaluate, how are we doing in the bigger plan, in the bigger scheme of things. So how can we learn to step further into our calling? First of all, it's about acknowledging the options and choices that we have, not allowing ourselves to feel overwhelmed, not allowing ourselves to feel so anxious, so stressed, and so worried that we're doing it wrong, but we're so worried we're doing it wrong, we're not doing it anyway. So that creates this vicious circle, vicious cycle. And the Ten of Swords is reminding you that sometimes in life we have to let go. All right. In order to step further into your calling, you may have to let go of some people, some situations, some circumstances, and some emotions. Sometimes we have to just move on, okay? Because we can't keep, if you imagine a baby, when a baby comes into this world, it has nothing, okay? It doesn't have an item of clothing, it doesn't have a toy, it doesn't have a cup, it doesn't have a plate, it has nothing, all right? And as it goes through life, it accumulates stuff. But when the baby becomes a toddler, all its baby stuff we lose, we put away, we give away, we sell it, we throw it away, we dispose of it, because now the identity has shifted, and now it's an identity of a toddler. And then it gets and accumulates toddler-related stuff and activities. When it becomes a school-going child, all the baby and toddler stuff is gone, and it starts accumulating different stuff. And so we go on in life, high school, young adult, middle adult, old adult, whatever it may be. Life is constantly about evolution, change, growth, but we are always needing to purge and let go and remove and clear so that there is space for new, that there is space for more. And that is how we step further into our calling, by realizing that sometimes we just have to let go. Sometimes we just have to do a clearing out and a dropping of, and recognizing that by letting go of the things that are not needed is the way that we step further into our calling. So how can you learn to step further into your calling? By letting go, acknowledging the stress, acknowledging the anxiety, realizing that you've got choices and options, and that everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. I hope that makes sense to you, friends. I hope that resonates with you and just, I don't know, just feels good. Find out what it is relating to in your life, work with it, go with it, embrace it. I do hope that you have an amazing week ahead, to every single one of you. Thank you for your love and support. And remember, if you're still here now, please comment below and let me know what changes you'd like to see to this particular video. What parts do you want to keep? What parts would you like added? And what parts would you think we can let go of because they're done? Let me know. I look forward to hearing from you. Oh, for those of you on the motivated and activated tiers, remember to stay close. There is a bonus reading for you as well. Lots of love and blessings to every single one of you, from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.